Shout out to G-Man Boxing.
Alright, people. Jared Anderson, the real big baby, scores a second round TKO victory over Vladimir. Is it Kesetska? I was struggling to pronounce this guy's name. That's just, you know me and names, they just don't go. But, cut it long story short, I wanted to watch this fight. I wanted to give my 2 cents, because I haven't done any videos on Jared Anderson on this channel. But whenever anyone's asked me, I've always spoken highly of him. The reason I speak highly of him is because, from what I've seen, he is very impressive. And in this fight, again, I was impressed. I was impressed with his speed, his punching power, his accuracy, his calmness. Jared Anderson is just, for 21 years old, he has a confidence about him. He has athleticism, he has speed, etc, etc, etc. And it's just so impressive to watch, because with heavyweight prospects up and coming, certainly heavyweight prospects out of the US, there's been very few over the last decade, maybe even more, that you've looked at. Even Deontay Wilder, to an extent, when he came along first, he just had a punch. You know, that's really what you kind of noticed. With Anderson, you see a lot more than just this. Now, in this fight, he was using his speed, he was using his footwork to good effect. For someone who weighs, I think, the best part of 17 stone, he really, it's weird. Like, I mean, I'm sure if you saw him in real life, you'd be taken aback by his size. But when you see him on camera, maybe it was just because his opponent was just way bigger in terms of height and just body mass. It made Anderson look almost small in there. He certainly isn't. Now, his opponent, I wasn't aware of this, but he was 22-0 as I knew. But he'd been around, this is what the commentary team said, since 2007 as a pro. So I wasn't aware of that. I thought, you know, he was kind of, you know, the way some of these guys are, they could be around for 6-7 years. To be around 2007, you're talking how long? 14 years, nearly 15 years, in around that time. It's a long time to be pro, and he certainly didn't pick up much in that space of time, because he looked very crude. He looked extremely stiff, did his opponent, Vladimir Tereshkin, or Keshenka, however you pronounce it. He looked extremely stiff in there. Like, he's almost robotic. And it made Jared Anderson just have a field day, basically. What I will say is he takes a pretty decent shot, because he was hurt noticeably in the second round, but he never went down. And realistically, he kind of signaled to the referee at the end of the second round, like literally with just, I think, a few seconds to go, that he wanted it. He'd had enough. You know, he was taking big shots from Jared Anderson. He looked at Kenny Bayless kind of with a, like, the gum shield kind of halfway out, and Kenny Bayless was looking anyway to see about stopping it. But I think at that stage he was just like, yeah, because if he didn't do it then, he might not have even come out for the third round. One thing I will say about the opponent, and this is just me, maybe it's because it's late at night and I haven't gone to sleep yet, but he actually reminds me, Tereshkin, of in terms of facial features, like Josh Kelly. You know, imagine Josh Kelly really overweight. He kind of reminds me a bit of Josh Kelly in terms of just facial features, nothing in terms of, you know, ability. But no, Jared Anderson, again, done very well in this fight. I was very impressed with him. He's in 8 rounders. They'll probably move him up to 10 rounders now soon enough. But in a year's time, it's going to be very interesting to see where Jared Anderson is, because I'm very impressed with him. I think he's an excellent prospect, and I think that we could have. And here's the thing: I remember Hatman was talking about this yesterday, when we done a video together, we done the podcast together. He was saying that if you look at, or it might have even been Dwyer who said it as well. I think he was quoting Dwyer, if I'm not mistaken. But he said that most of the top heavyweights at this stage, you know, whether they're champion or not a champion, they're in the 30s. You know, Joe Joyce mid-30s, Anthony Joshua 30s, Usyk 30s, White 30s, Fury 30s, Joseph Parker I think is 29, pushing 30. Most of these guys are in their early 30s, early to mid-30s. You've Jared Anderson coming along, who's in his early 20s. He's plenty of time. And believe you me, he has a lot of ability right now at 21. I think he's only 21, 22. He has a lot of ability right now. So we could be looking at a future star here. I'm serious. From what I've seen from Jared Anderson, I rate this kid extremely highly. I think this kid's going places. I really do. So that's my thoughts on this. I think it's Hellenius Kalnaki next. I am jaded. So whether I can, I'm gonna do the main event for definite, but whether I get through the rest of the card remains to be seen. That's why I have alarms set just in case. But for now, lads and lassies, I'll try and get a review in for the next fight. For now, peace.